despite the higher gas prices, though, the travel industry is still expecting a very busy summer. And today's decision from the Biden administration to end COVID testing for international travelers could provide another boost. Let's bring in Axel Hefer. He's the CEO of Trivago. Axel, it's great to see you again. When we take a look at the fact that President Biden, the Biden administration, rolling back that COVID testing mandate for international travelers, how big of a boost do you see this potentially providing the industry?
I do think it will make a difference. I mean, any friction that has been taken out of connections between countries or between destinations has added to more demand. However, the prices are very high, and I mean, you talked about it just before, and I think that is the bigger factor. So I do expect some increase in demand, but not that much.
So Axel, as we look at people obviously trying to hold on to their wallets as they see this big inflation data, what types of vacations or experiences are people taking? What are they willing to spend on right now?
Yeah, it's actually interesting to look back because when you look at the pandemic, we were obviously in a very extreme situation in many, many countries. And there was one trip that everybody wanted to take, which is basically the summer vacation to a nature destination, to the beach, to the mountains. And that's exactly what we are seeing right now. Those are on top of everybody's mind. And we run a consumer survey that 64% of the Americans are actually willing to spend more than pre-pandemic just to have this break in summer.
And 83%, according to your numbers, say this is going to be the best summer to travel yet. One of the shocking things was what people are willing to give up in order to travel. 20% plus said they'd give up coffee, and well, 18%, Axel, said they'd give up intimacy. We'll let you interpret that your own way. But what types of experiences are people moving towards as we go into the summer, despite the huge increase in cost?
Yeah, so in summer, as I said, it's really to get a break at the beach or in the mountains or at Disneyland, etc. And when you then get out of the summer, typically you have more culture trips, New Orleans, Quebec, etc. So to New York, to cities where you want to experience something. And there, I guess the big question is, to what extent will that actually be affected by the increase in inflation and the reduction in disposable income throughout the world?
Axel, when we take a look at the best time to book, I think that's what a lot of people are wondering, whether we should do it a few weeks out, a few months out. What's the best strategy now?
So for the summer, I would book as soon as possible, because you will see that, like the last 2 years, the top destinations will be fully booked. There is still a problem with supply. You have labor shortages pretty much everywhere, and that is a problem to add more supply. So as early as possible. Whereas for autumn, I think it's also a strategy to wait for a bit longer, because there I do think that demand will be hurt by rising inflation.
And in terms of the reasons why some people choose not to book, I know for me, when I was looking at the pandemic, if I couldn't be sure that I could get my money back in case my trip was cancelled or there was a COVID outbreak there, I know that put me off. And I think 50% of the people you surveyed said that if they were guaranteed to get their money back, that they would also be more likely to make some of these concrete travel plans. Are we seeing any improvement in some of that space in terms of people getting some of these guarantees that they could get their money back if something goes wrong?
Yeah, I do think the game changer is actually in pretty much every country is whether you have to wear a mask, or whether you have the pandemic right in your face every day. And once masks are going away, you're less concerned about the health risk, and you're also less concerned about the risk of traveling, trips getting canceled, etc. And you see that to various extents, obviously, depending on where you are. But I think there the world is normalizing now over time.
Yeah, I was surprised, Axel, to call a hotel in the Caribbean just last week, and they said there was zero cancellation policy, no way to get out of it, regardless of COVID. Hopefully that is not a trend. Interesting to see the demand for air travel skyrocketing, where cruise lines are really struggling. Now, in terms of the stocks, and it doesn't always coincide, the big three in the United States are down between 40 and 48% year to date, and demand is really falling off in the cruise industry. Any theories about why it's falling while air travel skyrocketing?
I mean, to be honest, we are not in the cruise business at all, so I don't really have visibility into the trends there.
All right, we do thank you for your insights. Axel Hefer there, Trivago's CEO. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.